We're going to jump right into it. We don't want to keep Matt Bowman, the executive vice president of the Dallas Stars, waiting any longer. Look at this guy.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hello.
Matt, long time. How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there, Tommy. How you doing?
I'm all right. Meet Chasten J. Miles.
That's
Chasten, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too as well.
Thank you guys for having me. It's exciting to be here.
What do these days look like for you? What's a regular weekday for you right now, man?
Tommy, it's crazy right now. It's a great opportunity to kind of talk about where the Stars are because we're trying to come out of this pandemic, honestly. And between now and the end of the month, our guys are actually just this past Monday back on the ice playing. We're having our training camp, and we're going to try to make this season happen starting in August. So for now, the guys are having a second training camp for this season. And then as we approach August, we're going to have an actual playoff. So the Stars are in the 4 seed right now in the Western Conference. We're going to have a few round robin games, and we can get into that if you guys are interested. But we're going to have a few kind of meaningful games. Then about August 11th, we're heading into the first round of the playoffs. And as you guys are aware, I mean, the Stanley Cup Playoffs are one of the best events in all of sports.
Absolutely.
Even if you're not a hockey fan, I encourage everybody to tune in, watch, because it's intense. And coming from me, guys, I was a football player myself. I'm from Iowa. We didn't play a lot of hockey. But I can tell you that once I started getting into it, it got me hooked pretty quick.
Oh man, like playoff hockey is balls to the wall. You're talking.
No way to put it, right?
Yeah, man, it's balls to the wall, and I don't mind saying that. It's absolutely nuts because at any point in given time, your guys are scratching to either get back in the game or put it away, and it's super exciting, super exciting. So you'll have to take us back to around mid-March. Remind me where we were at. Were we in season when we had to?
Yeah, so the season, normal season will go from October until the first part of April. And then the playoffs will be usually mid-April until mid-June. So by March, we ended our last game, or the end of the season, or paused the season, I should say, March 12th. We had 7 home games left, I think 13 total games out of an 82-game schedule. So we had pretty much played 90% of our schedule already.
Yeah.
So we were in a pretty good spot. Like I said, we were kind of limping into the playoffs. We hadn't won in a while when the pandemic really shut everything down. So it actually kind of, in some respects, guys, was kind of good timing for us, to be honest. And now we're getting back into it and trying to get restarted.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. It stinks, right? I mean, how old are you got kids?
Dude, I've got so many kids. My wife had 2 kids when we got married, and they're 13 and 10. And then we just had a baby boy a year and a half ago, and then we just had another boy April 1st. So I've got 13, 10, 1.5, and 3 months.
You've got a busy house right now.
Jason, you're not kidding, dude. And so I have to be up here in my media room because we actually have an office, but I'm just definitely afraid I'm going to have some kid come banging on my door down on the ground level, so I got to come up here and hide.
Mm-hmm.
Man, how often are you on? Sorry, Chasen, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that there was a question that popped in the comments, but
speak it. What is it? I don't see it.
Yeah, sure. So the question is, what are the precautions like for players and staff right now in your organization?
Well, they've got a group of 52 people that they have that have approval to be around the team, and that's it. And so it's basically coaches, trainers. We have 1 social media content person that was allowed, but pretty much on the business side, that's it. We've got a PR person and a social media content creator. Beyond that, it's trainers, coaches, extra players, things like that. And so they're all in a really, really tight bubble. They're tested daily. And I think, the toughest part is right now, because every team, we're going to have 24 teams go to 2 hub cities. One is Toronto, one is Edmonton. The 2 conferences are going to play the playoffs in each of these hubs, kind of like the NBA is doing in Orlando. Yep. Whereas they have the 1 city, we have 2. But we're doing it differently than the NBA, because every team is going to be having their training camp in their home market. And our guys aren't necessarily quarantined, and nor are other teams' players. So really the thing we're most nervous about is, can we get all of our guys through training camp in our home markets, healthy, get them to the hubs? Because once we get them to Edmonton and Toronto, we feel like, we'll be okay. It'll be even more strict with the precautions and things.
So tell me this, Matt. Everybody, you can see it at the bottom of the screen. Matt Bowman, Executive Vice President of the Dallas Stars. What sort of camaraderie would you say there is amongst you and your position, and looking to your brethren in similar positions at the other Dallas sports teams? FC Dallas, what they're doing, what they have to do to maintain, and do you guys ever communicate back and forth as associations, as ball clubs, or what?
Well, Tommy, I assume I assume it's a lot like the world of realtors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talk all the time, and
really?
The good news is we're, I guess you could say that we would compete against each other, but we really don't, because even when the Stars and the Mavericks, for example, we're partners at the American Airlines Center,
right?
And our seasons are literally almost exactly the same as far as timeline goes. But our fans have traditionally just been a different subset of the population than the Mavs fans. We would love to have more of fans that the Mavs have. I mean, the Mavs have a huge fan base, and we would love to tap into some of that. And but yeah, I mean, I have great relationships with Theo Hodges, and on the board, my boss is on the board with St. Marshall from the Mavericks, and we interact with the Mavs all the time. I used to work for the Cowboys a while back, about a decade ago, 100 years ago, maybe, feels like. So I know all those guys, and we've had plenty of people from the Rangers come over, FC Dallas. So yeah, it's really the sports business world, even nationally, is a pretty small community. And when you get into DFW, it really gets small. So we always are bouncing ideas off each other, talking to each other. I'm sure, we don't have anything like this. I wish we did. Maybe you guys come host a sports business happy hour sometime.
Yeah.
Name your place and time.
You bet.
I love it. Matt, I would love to hear kind of about your journey, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers would, kind of hear about your journey and how you've gotten to where you are today.
Yeah, and I'll try not to be too long-winded about it, but I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. No professional sports teams where I grew up. I was a finance major in college, and I took a chance. I just started selling tickets for the Indiana Pacers. Wow. You guys remember the brawl in Detroit? The Malice of the Palace? You guys
Ron
remember that?
Ron Artest ran up into the stands.
Yeah.
Lord.
So I got there the year after, and the city had kind of turned its back on the Pacers. At the same time, across town, Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Colts, and they won the Super Bowl my first year. So the Colts were the golden boys. The Pacers, nobody wanted to touch. So that's how I started into the business.
Wow.
Did that for a year and a half, and then my boss at the Pacers actually left to go to the Cowboys to sell the new stadium. So I followed him there.
Wow.
We sold the most expensive, season tickets. Everybody here in DFW knows 10 years ago, 12 years ago now, actually, we were in back then, the biggest economic crisis of our lifetimes. Mm-hmm. And we were selling some of the most expensive, premium inventory that had ever been sold.
Sure.
We sold the building out. I learned a ton. And from there, I went to Oklahoma City, and I went and started an NBA team that was called the Thunder. That people didn't know if that was a soccer team or what was going on in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, guys, I'm like, do I really want to leave Dallas to go to Oklahoma? But it was one of the best things I ever did, because we had a really good team, and we also had a guy named Russell Westbrook. We had a guy named Kevin Durant. We had a guy named James Harden on that team.
That's right.
And we ended up going to the finals in my third year. I wasn't around for that because I left at that point, 2012, to go to be the VP of ticket sales for the Stars. So I've been with the Stars now for 8 seasons, going on my 9th season. And in that span of time, I've been able to absorb our marketing group. And then just last year, I absorbed our corporate partnerships team. So those 3 verticals, corporate partnerships, marketing, and ticket sales, all kind of funnel up through me.
Nice,
man. That's exciting. That's super exciting. So, so you're a numbers guy. Surely that plays a heavy role into the value that you're able to add to your company. Tell me about what type of resiliency that sort of requires, because you're in a forever fluid market or industry. I mean, the sports business is a son of a gun. So you have to look at PR, you have to look at, HR, you're looking at, of course, the product that you're putting out there. Have there ever been times where you thought that, oh my goodness, I might be this might be all I could take of this organization, or I might, like, what am I doing, sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of talking like that's what my life is. It's that all the time. And I'm not complaining. I love it. It's great. I think we're the Dallas Stars, as the hockey team in Dallas. We've got some built-in advantages, but we've also got some built-in challenges. I mean, this isn't Toronto. This isn't Montreal. Most of us don't grow up playing hockey in this market, although we do have a really thriving and growing youth hockey business that we can talk about. But it's not cultural here like it is football. This is football country. Everybody knows it. And so we have a challenge to try to get people exposed to our sport. And, that is probably the thing that, and we have to do it because our business model, guys, is different than the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball in particular. Those leagues get massive media money, TV money, right? The networks pay a ton to have those games broadcast. As you can tell, like right now in the middle of a pandemic, I mean, people are dying for some live sports.
Yeah.
So the NHL traditionally in the United States hasn't been as in demand a product as those other the big 3 sports have been. And so traditionally we haven't gotten the major media rights money that those other leagues have gotten. So
let me ask you real quick. Without getting too deep into it, are you on we're all independent contractors, a lot of us in the real estate industry. The channel that you are on, we are broadcasting from the MetroTex Association of Realtors public page. So there's lots of real estate professionals, but there's also the general public watching us as well. Are you specifically like on a contract with the Dallas Stars? Do you always have to feel like, okay, I'm waking up this morning, because a lot of us, we wake up unemployed and we have to go get contracts. We have to be on the phones. Do you ever feel a sense of, okay, I have to go display my value again? And like, you're always recalibrating to make sure you're on top of your game. Like,
yeah, Tommy, I mean, 100%. It's a little different. And I've always had great respect for entrepreneurs and people that are willing to go out and take that risk. I'm actually a little jealous of that sometimes, but I also know enough realtors and entrepreneurs that boy, is that a lot of pressure. And in particular times like we're in now, I'm sure it's just even that much more exponentially tough. I'm thankful that I'm on salary. I'm not on contract. There are some people, my boss is on a contract. Maybe at the next level, that would be my how I would be, employed. But right now,
your boss is on contract.
My boss is on contract. Yeah.
I mean, that's unsettling in that, like, to be in a situation like that, because at any point anyone could get fired. We know that, but you're always assessing your stock, right? Like, where's my stock at as self? Am I doing all I can do to keep things in line for me and my family? But if anything happens, I have. And I'm not trying to. I never want to say like,
I'm not going to sleep tonight. I don't know.
Exactly, but you know exactly what I mean. Assessing self-stock is important, is it not? Very important.
100%. And the thing that I still feel that every day, I actually get motivated by it, but it's a little different than being an entrepreneur. But there are just so many people that love the work that we do, and they love, that would love my job. And I wake up every morning with the gratitude of, I'm so fortunate to be able to do what I do, that I can never take my foot off the gas and say, I'm just going to ride this. I never, ever take it for granted, because first off, the climb that I had to make to get to this point was incredibly tough. And now that I'm here, I don't ever want anybody taking it away from me. And I'm certainly not going to give it away because I'm being lazy. And so I think, we all have to get up and show our value every single day. And I think, like I said, Tommy, Chasten, I mean, what you guys do, running your own business where it's no safety net. I do have a safety net being an employee, and I've got benefits. I got things like that a lot of realtors don't have. And I certainly respect what you guys do for our economy and everything else.
Appreciate that.
We need you. We need y'all.
We don't get it a lot, so definitely.
No, I'll be honest. What was scary, Matt, is our kids were on spring break, or my son was on spring break, and here's the thing, Chasten, we still have not been back from spring break, man. We've been on spring break ever since we went on spring break.
Yeah.
And now I hear, like, I got home today from an appointment. My wife said, well, Frisco ISD just canceled fall. Like, it's going to be e-learning. And I'm like, well, spring break continues because we're in Prosper ISD, and Prosper ISD will likely follow Frisco ISD.
I saw that news today too. My wife and I were like, oh boy, here we go.
Are you in Frisco?
Well, our kids go to Prince of Peace, which is a private Catholic school, but we're going to basically follow. They usually follow what Frisco does. So I'm sure that we're going to be in the same boat.
Oh,
come on now.
don't come on now, man. You don't know what that means, Chasten.
No. I mean, but I do. I feel it though. I feel it.
Feel it, please.
Yeah.
We need relief.
I can't even offer help. I apologize. You don't your kids.
You have no idea. These kids are forever in our ears throughout the day, or in the refrigerator, or needing to get out energy. Like, I have to have PE every day with Kessler.
Well, let me ask you: do you guys do you normally go into an office every day, or do you work from home?
No, I go into an office every day. Yeah.
Me too. I don't know if you guys are like me, but when I'm working from home, I'm trying to do both things, and I'm doing neither one as well as I would like. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not doing this work as much as I would like to do and being as good at it, and I'm not parenting as well as I would like to. So I'm kind of like spread. I like going into the office and being. I'm a pretty one-track mind kind of person. If I can focus on work all day, I'm a lot more effective.
Did they ever stop you from going to the office this year?
Well, for now, because the team is practicing at our team actually practices at our Frisco headquarters where we office. So just out of an abundance of caution, I'm not going in. Most of my team isn't going in every day. So we're trying to make it work from home.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. So I want you to put your realtor hat on, Matt. All right. If
I'll try.
if you jumped into residential real estate, what would be one of the things that you focused on to build a strong business for yourself?
I would do the same thing, I think. And I'm not going to pretend like I know what your business is, guys. I don't.
It's all right, but you know real estate.
Yeah. I would say I would apply what I've applied to my work in the sports world, which is the database has to be the center of the universe. You know what I'm saying? I would, you have to focus on reaching out, capturing people's names, emails, zip codes, and phone numbers, and build a base of people to whom you can market. Not everybody has the money to go buy billboards or radio advertising or, all those things. You got to do it by hand-to-hand combat, phone calls, emails, and you need a good database of people to work from. That'd be my first start.
I actually tell people that all the time. I say it on my podcast and on my YouTube videos because I feel like if you can master that skill of the phone call and the database, you can almost guarantee yourself to always be able to make money.
You're good.
No matter what industry you go in, whether it's ticket sales or home sales, car sales, if you can master that skill, and I'm going to call it a skill because it's so difficult for a lot of people. If you can master that database, you can set yourself up very nicely in a lot of places.
Man, so my first big company, my first broker was Coldwell Banker jumping in. And while I love where I'm at, love Joe. But when I was at Coldwell Banker, and if I ever went back to a big company, Coldwell Banker would be one that I looked at. But I was shocked to hear that I was not taught how important establishing a database is until like far after, right? So you get in, you start like looking at marketing. Okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to do this? I'm going to do that. Yes, I'm going to make calls, but the actual building of a freaking database, there may not be anything more important than that. There may not be anything in real estate more important than actually building the database, names, contact information, package that, put it in a central place, right, where you can access it. And what you got to do, so you have to do a direct mail campaign, bang, you import this database into that, ship it out. You got to do this campaign, import over here, export, ship it out, right? You can't do anything without a database. You can do none of that easily. Your efficiency is like floor level if you don't have a database built.
And I'll give you guys kind of like the history. I've been in the business long enough now to kind of see how it's evolved in our business. And when I first started selling tickets, it was basically, here's the phone book, make a call.
Oh, wow.
And, now then we went from there to, okay, let's get a little smarter. Let's call everybody that bought a ticket in the last 5 years, because if they bought a ticket before, they will probably buy again. And now we're getting to a place where we're able to segment lists to the point that we can say, okay, I want everybody that bought a ticket to the Thanksgiving game last year.
Nice.
With discretionary income above $100,000, because we have to sell the last 500 premium seats in the building for the game on Thursday, right? So I think it's, when you're thinking about, how does this evolve? Growing the database, capturing as many names as you can is really important. And then it's being sophisticated enough to be able to start sifting out which ones are the most qualified, warmest prospects. And then how do I connect with them in an authentic way that will get them to listen to me, take my call, take my meeting, and then you got to trust your sales skills to close the deal. And that's where I think most people that are successful in realty will be able to lean on and say, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to close.
So do you still work with your sales guys or no? I mean, I know you oversee kind of everything, but how often do you have to interact with your sales team, or is it more like what is your day like? Like, who is it that you're in contact with the most in your position?
Yeah, so we've got on the ticket sales side, we've got probably 15 reps. 9 of them are retention focused, customer service, because it's a huge piece of our business. Retention is really, really important.
Yeah.
And then we also have a group of 5 or 6 that are more the hunters. They're the new business group, and they're the ones calling warm leads to try to sell new Victory Club memberships, is what we call season tickets, a Victory Club.
Yeah.
So that group I used to manage day to day back in 2012, 13. Now I've got a VP that reports to me that manages that group. So I probably talk to them on a weekly basis. I mean, we'll get together and have a meeting. Hey, guys, be aware of this. And I'm certainly in touch with my VP on a daily basis. And I'm really kind of more involved now in the strategy side of, when do we release this product, this season ticket product versus this flex pack? How are we managing the secondary market? All kinds of stuff like that. That's kind of, it's not as much hand to hand, calling the customers and the prospects anymore.
That's awesome.
Wow. Dude.
This is so cool, Tommy. Just with YPX overall and what we've been doing this year. This is our second professional sports team or someone from a local professional sports team here in Dallas. Earlier this year, we had Tarsha LaCour from the Dallas Mavericks.
She's smart.
Yeah,
she's smart.
So we had her actually, because this started out live, and then because of COVID, we had to move it to virtual. So she actually came in live, and she was able to speak, and now you're here, and it's so fascinating and awesome to hear about the more corporate and organizational side of some of our sports teams and really like those workings. I mean, you mentioned Theo, awesome person. I've got a chance to speak with him a couple times, and just even hearing about like that side of things and the ticket sales, and I'm like, I don't even think I would like that job. But I mean, I would probably be like really good at it, but that's a true hardcore job right there, But
you've never worked in a call center, Chasten?
I did for one day, and I quit. Which
what?
I was good for that one day. Like they were like already talking to me about like, oh, you're going to be a superstar here, because I had like closed a few things, and I think it just worked out in my favor because my name is Chasten, and the calls that I was making was on behalf of like or like it was for like refinance, so people thought that I was saying Chase, and they thought that I was Chase Bank, and so I think that they were just willing to listen to me. But I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But yeah, I mean,
Tommy, how many call center years did you do? I did 4.
Yeah, my probably about 3 or 4 right out of high school. Oh geez, what was it? It was Silverleaf Resorts.
Yeah, hey, they're a sponsor of ours.
I'm sure.
Yes, that was rough. What about you?
Yeah, I did 4 years, and it was just, like I said, when I started, it was cold calling. There was hardly any warm lead out there. It was just, hey, are you Pacer fan? You know what I mean?
There was a company named CMI that I used to work for as well, and that was a debt collection company. So, yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You've gone through some wars.
Yeah, it was rough. I've been hung up on a time or two. It builds thicker skin, though.
That's right.
You can't be afraid of rejection. Matt, we want to respect your time, but we do a little something fun for all of our guests, as you may or may not have heard with Kathy Caps, Tiago Title, who was on with us before. We got a little lightning round for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
A little something to let people know about Matt Bowman at the Dallas Stars.
All evening.
All right. Would you prefer to live in the country or the city?
City.
Oh, wow. Wait, is it because you grew up in the country, or what? You were Des Moines, not necessarily.
I was in Des Moines, so I was kind of in the big city, of 500,000 people there. But yeah, no, my mom's from the farm. That's not for me.
All right. Here's something. If you could learn a new skill, what would it be?
I'd love to learn to play the piano.
Oh, that's a good one.
And because I'm a big Justin Timberlake fan. I'm probably aging myself here, but when JT had Justified come out back in like 06, 07, and that special came out, and he's banging away on the piano, and he's got his soul, he's got his R&B style. I just loved it. So it's that kind of piano.
Did you go to the Justin Timberlake concert at the AAC back in it was like 6 years ago? Twice. Thought so.
Okay.
No, because I was there.
I was there.
I took my wife and my mother and a couple friends.
He came back. He did he did 2 different shows, and I went to both shows. Yeah.
So me and 2 buddies of mine went into the Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z concert out at Candlestick Park before they shut that down out in San Francisco. We went out there just for that. If you could be a mythical creature, which would you choose?
What's a mythical creature?
Mythical creature. I mean, the first one is the 3-headed dog from Greek mythology.
Holy crap.
That guards Hades.
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty sweet. I don't know. That's the first one that came to mind.
Well, that one leads me to my next one. Do you prefer reading paper or electronic books?
Paper. Old school. Yeah.
All right. When was the last book you read? You had time to read any lately?
I read a book on leadership by a guy who is kind of a leadership consultant for us named Coach Rod Olson. And what was the name of it? I can't even remember the name, but look up Coach Rod Olson, and he's got some great. They're leadership books, but they're really parables. They're stories, so they're easy to read. I would say, I can't remember. I'm so sorry, I can't remember.
No, it's all right. They're probably not watching, so it's cool. All right, last one. Who is a mentor to you?
My boss, Brad Alberts, is our president. He has probably, and I've had a lot of great ones. I mean, I think everybody that is, in positions like we are, where we've had some success in our careers, have had some great mentors. I've had some of the best. My boss, Brad, though, has helped me along. He's put me under his wing, and kind of, I've been able to kind of hitch my wagon to him. And he just got announced just last week. He's the new president and CEO of our club. Our former CEO, Jim Lights, who Tommy, I know really well. Yeah. Jimmy's going to step to the side a little bit. He's 67. He's going to kind of take a little bit of a step back and be more. He's going to be our chairman.
Yeah.
But Brad is going to take over the day-to-day.
Whoa. Hold on. Tap the brakes. That's big news. You guys just did some shifting around on the executive level. The Stars have a new CEO. I haven't been following the news. Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah, we got a new CEO. It was announced last week, and that's my boss.
Stepping aside, you all heard it here. You did not follow. No. Yeah. All right. No, Jim was a good guy for us. Last time we did anything together, he stepped up and he was money for us on that, what we did back in 2014. So congrats. I'll wish you a future congrats. I think that, as things keep shifting around, you might be in line. There is a pecking order, is there not?
Yeah, but it would be great someday to have that top job, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of politics and there's a lot of pressure. And I'm in a really good spot right now. I love sales and marketing. That's my wheelhouse. So
speaking of politics, last question.
Oh, great.
I got you.
I'm like, time to go.
What's this? My internet's going out.
Yeah. Sorry, frozen.
All right, Matt. Thanks so much for joining us. Get back to that fam.
We really appreciate it.